Welcome back. You're still watching Network Africa on Channels Television. Egyptian police have shot dead 4 suspected Islamist militants inside a house close to central Cairo. This is the third of such incidents in a couple of weeks now. The police defend their actions, saying the suspects opened fire first and also claim that the men were part of Anjad Misr. That's a group which surfaced back in January of 2014 and has constantly targeted security forces in and around Cairo. A statement released also explained that the men were also suspected of killing 2 policemen, a soldier and a civilian, and they were also suspected of blowing up a police vehicle and bombing a security checkpoint. However, analysts see this move as a manifestation of the controversial anti-terrorism bill, which shields security officers from prosecution when in the line of duty. For more on this, we go live to Cairo, where the Voice of America's Edward Iranian is standing by. Edward, thank you very much for joining us on Network Africa.
My pleasure, Cynthia.
Is there any more information that you have regarding this incident, that apart from what we know so far?
Well, to be honest with you, this is the type of incident that you see in the press one time and then they really don't talk about it anymore because no one really has any accurate information other than what's been coming out from official sources. So like anything in Egypt and in the Middle East, really how accurate the information is anyone's guess. I wouldn't stand by it terribly solid with terrible solidity. But anyway, I think what you need to know is that there's a war, a low-level war going on here and elsewhere in the Middle East. Less low-level in some of the other countries, but it's a war. I don't know that terrorism laws are what people should be focusing on. They should be focusing on the fact that the government is locked in a struggle with Islamists and Islamic militants. That's it in a nutshell.
What about what analysts are saying, Edward? Is there any truth to it that this might be a manifestation of the anti-terror bill?
I'm sure there is some linkage in the sense that perhaps some police officials think they have more latitude than they would if there wasn't that bill. But that being said, we're in a war mode. And I think everyone understands that on the ground. And the media that covers this as if it's a human rights issue are on another planet, really.
Okay, finally, Edward, and briefly if you can, this is not the first of such raids. Based on what we understand, it's the third in a couple of weeks. I mean, counting from what we've seen in a couple of weeks. How safe are Egyptians knowing that they could be potentially killed just for being suspected of terrorism?
Well, certainly reading this, one gets the sense that there's more danger than if one hadn't read it. But being out in the streets, I think one has the sense that more police being there makes the place safer. That's at least my sense as a foreigner. Of course, if you're an Egyptian, perhaps you might look at it a little differently. But I look at the police as people who are out there protecting security. And the fact that they've conducted all these raids has made the situation a bit safer because we're hearing of fewer attacks and explosions than we have in the past. So obviously, they must be gaining some ground.
Well, Edward, thank you so much for joining us on Network Africa. Now, an Islamic preacher, Dr. Abu Amina Bilal Phillips, who was secretly indicted in the 1993 bombing of the World Trade Center and deported from the United States in 1994, is currently in Ghana offering his alleged radical Islamic teachings to Muslims in the country. Sheikh Phillips' activities in Ghana, as advertised on his official Facebook page, started on the 4th of February and they're expected to end on the 12th of this month. His programs have taken place in various parts of Accra and in Kumasi, specifically at the Nust. We understand that by tomorrow, February the 9th, he will be holding a lecture from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. And it will be recalled that back in 2015, Ghana's national security issued an alert about recruitment of Ghanaian students to join terrorist groups like ISIS. Here's more about the profile of Dr. Bilal Phillips. We understand that he is a Canadian Muslim teacher. He was banned from entering UK and Australia, was deported from the Philippines, Bangladesh, and Kenya. The USA named him an indicted co-conspirator in 1993. He resides in Qatar. He's a speaker, as we told you earlier on. He's the author of several publications and appears on Peace TV every now and then. And he also considers himself a Salafi and owns his own website. For Martina Bugri, a journalist in Accra, joins us for more on what's happening in Ghana. Martina, thank you so much for joining us on Network Africa.
You're welcome.
Now, are Ghanaian authorities aware of what's potentially going on in the country regarding this Dr. Bilal Phillips? And if so, how are they handling the situation?
First of all, let me make a correction. I'm not in Accra, Ghana. I'm in the capital,
Okay.
where it is expected to hold a program this week at the Apadura Mosque from 8 p.m. to 11 p.m. I was speaking to some residents in the area, and they are upset because they are revered Muslim clerics in the region for the first time. And earlier in the day, going through the channel, I saw some military and police go to participate there. It's clear that they are participating because
well, apologies. The line is clearly bad at the moment. Martina, thank you so much for joining us on Network Africa. We'll try to reconnect with you. But still to come on the program, rescuers in South Africa confirm that there are signs that the 3 people trapped in a gold mine could still be alive.